Hey gamers, welcome back to another Pixel Heroes video. In this video we're talking about the next collab unit, Joshua. Very exciting to have two different either Sanctuary or DArkin faction units to play with. I did some investing with Joshua just to see how good he would be. I'm really impressed by the ability to steal the attack from other units, but also having basically guaranteed critical hit chance. We don't get to talk about that much with other characters. Characters can get what I would say a very high critical hit chance, but Joshua has a guaranteed critical hit chance. That's actually very impressive. So if you get 2 attacks off using a physical combo, then you can crit the first one and then crit the follow-up. He has a lot of damage output potential. I think he'd be probably the highest boss killer in the game. Maybe. That's a very high statement there. But anyway, I think Joshua is really cool. I don't think he has as much universal ability as Estelle, but I do think he has a place if someone were able to get him fully leveled up. Either way, I got to use Joshua in these clips as a 11-star character, I think with either Awakening 5 or 10. And just before we talk about Joshua in actual combat, let's first go over why I say he has a 100% critical hit chance. So, looking at the stats themselves, my Joshua at the time of recording had a critical hit rate of 67.75%, which is added from having a Berserk emblem with 16% critical hit chance. Woo! In addition to that, prior to Joshua using his skill, he actually increases his own critical hit chance by 30%. So at any point in time for my Joshua, he has a 97.75% chance to critical hit, obviously not including resistance to critical. Cool. But in addition to that, he has a passive that boosts his own critical hit chance at the start of combat, and then it decreases by 3% each round. So most people maybe only having, let's say, 10% resistance to critical. Joshua would offset that by his passive. So even going into a 13-star Joshua and having 15% critical hit boost at the start of combat, you have a pretty much guaranteed chance of hitting a critical hit. And even if someone has enough resistance to critical, it's not that big of a deal because most of the time, if you're, let's say 90% plus, you're probably going to critical hit. But in other scenarios where the resistance to critical hit is missing, Joshua will just inflict a critical hit. And he will do massive damage to characters that are not tanks or supports. And so that concludes our video with Joshua. Just showing some PvP aspects and a little bit of boss damage. You can see that no matter how strong the unit is, being able to inflict a critical hit is so powerful. I really wish that we had gotten a lot more from the collab as far as like free units or more currency or something, because especially in my server cluster, I was the only person to even invest in Joshua. So I put in a lot of effort to get a very high powered Joshua, to learn that I think he's ultimately better than Adley even, just from the perspective of damage. Does he have any real control? No, not really. So your Azure Phoenix and your Guna are still going to be better from a overall usability, but having Joshua target the highest attack unit and crit them just means you could have, you know, Azure Phoenix, Guna, Joshua as a 3 assault line and pretty much pummel anything. You could even redirect him with Azure Phoenix, and then he's still going to strike that unit very, very, very powerfully. I think he has a lot of potential, but I don't think we'll see anything from him just because of how the collaboration went. That's ultimately a developer issue, but I'm happy with the Joshua I wound up getting, which is actually a 13-star unit. If I get one more before the collaboration is over, I can get him to Awakening 15. Maybe I'll have a follow-up video just showing more of what Joshua can do. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video, share it with your friends, anyone interested in Pixel Heroes Global. Let me know your thoughts on the characters, anything else you want me to see, and of course, please subscribe for more. I'll continue to upload content as I can. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.